It is Saturday. I'm going to say Saturday evening. It's 5:15. I guess officially 5:15 in the afternoon, right? And then we got 6 in the evening. But we're just going to go ahead and call it evening. It feels like evening for me. Literally so, as I will be on my way to bed in just about 2 hours, maybe less. Hey, if I end the live stream early, it'll definitely be less. Give me a second. I'm going to bring up my desktop for the live stream. It's easier to see. If I have any comments, if anyone shows up, they want to chat, never a guarantee. And you know what? Perfectly okay if that doesn't happen. No judgment on my part. I fully realize that I am an acquired taste, and that even with that taste acquired, it might not be an everyday occurrence. Completely understandable. Amazing thing is coming to like yourself. Coming to like yourself, coming to love yourself. What a journey that's been. And that wasn't guaranteed either. Um, there was some deep conflicts for me of not liking myself and then wondering why I don't like myself, as I seem like a likable guy. Um, Hi, Alexandria. How are you? And you know what? I think we've all struggled with that. If we're being honest with ourselves, that even probably the most arrogant people we know, if you were to be privy to the thoughts, we'd find that maybe they don't like themselves either. And the thing is, it's all based upon uh, misperception. We're not even seeing who we really are. That was a big help for me. You let go of the image of who you think you are, and all of a sudden you find yourself much, much larger than in reality who you are. That you are the pure awareness that was holding the illusion of who you thought you were. At the same time, you don't completely let go of that illusion, but you find yourself falling in love with it. The poor guy, the poor girl, the poor whichever. Um, all these years disliking himself, and that version of himself doesn't even really exist. It's an illusion. Everything, man, everything people think about me is an illusion. Doesn't mean some of it might not be true. There's a difference between what is perceived as true and an illusion. Um, they might see my personality as this or that. They might see my appearance as this or that, and that it's true. But it's an illusion because that's not actually me. That's just a perception. That's where things seem to get tricky, but it's easier to realize than it is to think about, as every spiritual truth is. Alexandria says, I'm okay. How are you? I'm doing good. Feeling a bit quiet and subdued, I guess. Not sure why, but you know what? You take what's presented to you, or we try to. We had a good talk about that this afternoon. Talking about grief, I was talking about depression, cheery subjects. Um, but when you find yourself depressed, and I fought it forever, I don't want to be, or I feel it coming on, or whatever, and that just led to more suffering. But when you find yourself experiencing grief, when you find yourself experiencing depression, if you just surrender to it, don't fight it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. But you know it's here. You know it's present. And you also know that you will survive it. Not only that, at a certain point, you come to love yourself through it. That's another amazing thing. When you begin to extend love to yourself, especially on the things that you used to beat yourself up for. Sometimes we exclude ourselves from forgiveness. We start learning the secret of forgiveness and we get more and more forgiving, and yet it seems that we are, it's almost impossible for us to give it to ourselves. And I always go back, people might have heard me say this before, Ramana Maharshi, when he was asked, how do we treat others? And he replied with a smile, a gentle smile, as always, there are no others. So I can't truly consider myself to be forgiving unless I include myself in that forgiveness. Let's see. Beyond the Stump says, "Say Yogi, hey Beyond, how are you?" Linda's here. Linda, how are you? Life with Liv says hi. And one of my all-time favorite channels. One of my all-time favorite channel names. And you know what? Someone who's becoming one of my all-time favorite people. I'm going to be fair and honest. I have a big list of all-time favorite people, but Anne's Crap Chat is on the list. Then it says, hey, Anne. So Linda was one of the people that helped spark the conversation that we had this afternoon, which I always appreciate. So you guys let me know what you want to talk about. I know what poor man's Jim wants to talk about. He wants to talk about 200-pound sandbags. Which is always always an interesting subject. And I know what the Burpee Reaper wants to talk about. He wants to talk about Spartans and medals and New York style pizzas. And says, I want to talk about quarter pounders. No, I'm just kidding. You want to know something? I've never had a quarter pounder. I never cared for McDonald's hamburgers. I did like McNuggets. I did like the French fries. I did like the milkshakes. I did like the apple pies. But you know what? The hamburgers, they always put the stuff that they wanted on the hamburger. And if you asked for it without the pickles, without the ketchup, it like took forever. And then they almost inevitably, second time I've used that word today, and I didn't mess it up, by the way. They almost always mess it up. Poor man says, no sandbags today. So I don't know why McDonald's is so well known for their hamburgers. If I were to eat a hamburger, it wouldn't be McDonald's, probably Burger King. How can you go wrong for someone who has declared themselves? What a bold move. I am the Burger King. Although in my neck of the woods as a kid, Geno's Burger, which was named for Geno, man, I can't remember that name, famous football player for the Baltimore Colts. So, man, I don't know how old people are here, but what was the fast food restaurants you remember as a kid that no longer are in existence? Or big chain restaurants? You remember Sizzlers? Rustlers? Let's see. Anne says, thank you, hun. You're welcome. Antigreek says, hey, Yogi and Mods. Let's see. Rupert says, Spartans, what is your profession? It's Spartan warrior. For guys who don't know, the Burpee Reaper is the newest Spartan warrior in the house. 10K race with 25 obstacles. And he rocked it. Rupert says, it's a wrap, guys. Much love, guys. Just saying hello, and I'm out. You getting that pizza? Rupert said he was going to eat an entire Domino's New York style pizza. Poor man says McDonald's is poison. I agree. Whataburger is the best. I've never had Whataburger. I think they're relatively new, right? Poor man says every time I eat McDonald's, and not often, I feel sick after. So, as a vegan, fast food places I can eat: Wendy's, because Wendy's has baked potatoes; Taco Bell's, because Taco Bell has vegetarian, vegan options. Anne says, no, they're not new. No, I've never heard of them before. That I know of. 1951, yeah, definitely not new. They opened their first stores. Wow. Foreman says, great job, the Reaper. Man, I don't even remember what a real burger tastes like. 1950. William H is here. The Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers aren't bad. A lot of people ask me, how does it compare? No idea. I don't rightly remember what the other stuff tasted like. But they taste good, and they do it in a pinch. I don't eat them. Every once in a while, if Mocha drags me out to do something, which gets harder and harder to do. Roy says black bean burgers are all right. Yeah, they're okay. They're not really burger-ish. You know what I mean? You always know you're eating black beans. You know you're not eating a burger. But if you're eating a Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, at least you can think, well, I'm eating a fake burger. I'm not eating black beans. Wolf is here. Wolf says, hi, Yogi, Reaper, Linda, and William H. Hello, Wolf. How are you? Wolf says, I don't usually do meat substitute. They aren't very healthy ingredients. No, neither do I. I remember being in a Burger King when they first introduced the Impossible Burger, and Mocha and I went in to give it a try, and there was a guy who had ordered, I don't know what it was called, it was the largest regular burger that they had, and he heard us order the Impossible Burger, and he said, I heard those aren't very good for you, which is pretty funny. Then it says, I think they are mostly in Texas. Whataburger. I was always had a tendency more to get chicken stuff. The chicken fillet. I used to like Chick-fil-A back in my meat eating days. William says, I don't know about that. It was convincing enough. And for me, they feel more saturating than the other vegan meat subs. Nice. William says, Whataburger is awesome. I wonder if they will ever come out with a vegan option. We live in a golden age of veganism where we can be just as unhealthy. We can have just as much junk food as anyone else. William says, used to love their patty melt. And Anne says, yes, William. This this entire conversation has been inspired by Anne's crap chat saying, I want to talk about quarter pounders. And she said, I'm just kidding. And we've just had a really nice, 10-minute long conversation? Not specifically about quarter pounders, but burgers in general. You never know where your inspiration is going to come from. Poor man says, not fast food, but I'm a Golden Corral buffet. Uh, we had one here once. I don't think I ever went. I think my father used to like that. What do you normally get there? Buffets can be dangerous for a person with an appetite, that's for sure. I used to like Sizzler's Steakhouse because they had a salad bar. And says the shakes awesome. And it's, oops, sorry. Hey, again, I take inspiration wherever I can find it. And says, I guess I'm hungry. In case you guys haven't realized it, I can talk about almost anything. And if I don't know anything about it, that doesn't stop me from talking about it. Poor man says, they got everything, fresh steaks, soups, they got it all. Nice. Man, I wonder when those guys who work there see poor man coming in, if they just realize he finished lifting a 200-pound sandbag and is ready to fuel up, that they're in some serious trouble. Timo, how are you? How's the editing going? And says, love making salads at Sizzlers. Yeah, the last Sizzlers here went out of business a long time ago, probably 20 plus years ago. But I used to love going there. Even when I was a non-vegan, I would love getting a steak and the salad bar, baked potato. And says, hi to Optimob. William says, I got back from the store and have done nothing but eat fruit. What kind of fruit are you eating, William? Gregory, how are you? Gregory says, anyone like Chakaramas? I never heard of that before. What kind of, is that a burger place? William says, please make sure you're getting sleep and rest. To our friend Optimob, who is working hard in his editing. Man, I honestly don't know anyone who puts in the detail that Timo does. Let's see. Anna Greek says, I have noticed that Jewish people have higher intelligence, from Sigmund Freud, Karl Marx, Albert Einstein, Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, was Carl Jung, was he Jewish? I don't know if they have more intelligence or if Jewish people put a higher priority on education. Maybe because of the suffering they've had to endure as a people, so they know that the way to get ahead of the world is the priority on education. 1 pint of blueberries. Nice. I had my blueberries this morning and I had strawberries in the evening. Well, Optimop says, good, thank you. Editing. The next 2 Sunday premieres are done and uploaded. Nice. Puts you ahead of schedule. Poor man says, I think I can still do 6 plates at Chinese buffet, but I usually stop at 4 because I get sick. We learn tolerance as we get older. Tolerance is 6 plates at a Chinese buffet. Timo says, and I uploaded 5 videos. Nice. Hey, while I have people here, do you think there's a limit on videos that you should put out? Let's say YouTube Shorts. If you put out more than 2 or 3, do they cancel each other out? Anne's Crap Chat says, do you like bananas? Man, don't get me started on bananas. I have survived on bananas. When I first became vegan, I wasn't a huge, believe it or not, vegetable eater. How can you become vegan if you don't particularly like vegetables? The answer, bananas, lots of bananas, up to 30 bananas a day. My best. I never got to 30 bananas a day. I did eat 27 bananas on a regular basis, either eating them or making smoothies, because bananas have about 100 or a little bit more, depending on the size of the banana, um, calories per banana. So if I wanted to get 3,000 calories a day in, which at the time I did, especially because I was ultra running, I would eat. There was a website called 30 Bananas a Day. Basically, I was a fruitarian because I liked fruit, but I didn't eat a lot of vegetables. Eventually, my diet changed, and now it's more balanced. I did that when I was ultra running, and man, it worked great. I was always hydrated. I never got tired. I had energy to spare. But I ended up, man, I was when I started ultra running, I was a 160-pound kettlebell lifter, competing in virtual meets, and I turned to ultra running and I lost like 20 pounds. Of course, it had to do with eating 30 bananas a day and running anywhere from 60 to 100 miles in a week. Foreman says eat a lot of beans, chili, Mexican foods, etc. Everyone's life would change if they had half a cup of legumes a day. That's a promise. Gregory says, homestyle buffet chain. I tried in Salt Lake City. Nice place. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. What kind of, so it's a buffet. Buffets are interesting. A little scary when you think of how long something might have been sitting out there. Let's see. Ann says, do not eat banana chips. I made that mistake once. I don't think I've ever had banana chips, but I'm going to go ahead and take your advice anyway. You know what? I'm not one of those people that would take that as a challenge. I don't. If Anne's crap chat says don't eat banana chips, and she shows me an emoji getting sick and an emoji of a toilet bowl, I'm not going to say, huh, I wonder if that will happen to me. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it would happen to me, and that would be even worse. So I appreciate that warning. Anna Greek says, banana and milk diet. Though I'd skip the milk, but bananas and fruit, I'd have a lot of greens, and I would have a couple of almonds to give me the a little bit of essential fatty acids. Anna Greek says 27 bananas, that's a lot. It is a lot. Timo says, I love bananas. Poor man says bananas are great. Get a lot of potassium. You do. Ann says, please don't take it as a challenge. I ate it like popcorn and I was sick all night long. Wow. I don't know if I could eat it as like that. I think they might be, were they sweet? Because I can't, despite eating 27 bananas in a day, at this point in my life, I can't eat too many sweet stuff, even fruit, all at once. I need to mix it with something. Nowadays, I eat about 6 or 7 bananas a day. I eat a lot of oatmeal, I eat a lot of bananas, I eat a lot of berries. Some nuts, but I wouldn't say a lot. I have walnuts, almonds, and 1 Brazil nut a day. That's all you need, 1 Brazil nut a day. Angelique says lentils is the healthiest legume. Do you think so? I almost eat lentils exclusively out of my legumes every day, and I have for years. It's gotten to the point, man, even my closest friends and family, when they hear me say I eat 1 Brazil nut a day, they look at me and they're like, why are you so weird? Why are you so peculiar? Why don't you do anything that normal people do? And those are all valid questions. And I don't have an answer. Not even a little one. I just shrugged my shoulders. I am as I am. Jay says, Yogi, I spoke with T. Nice. What did we get any conclusions drawn up? Did we get a plan of action? William says, are banana chips bad for you? And that is a lot of bananas. It is a lot of bananas. I don't think they're bad for you per se, but I think probably there's a limit to how many you should eat. Ann says, don't be a bum, hit that thumb. How come I've never heard that before? That seems like, it should be something that's said in every chat, and no one has ever said it here before Ann's Crap Chat. I might be inclined to think that Ann's Crap Chat made it up. She might be a poetic genius. Not only that, again, look at the conversation that she's inspired. We went from burgers to chain restaurants and buffets to vicious diarrhea from eating too many banana chips. Who knows where the conversation is going to go from here? Let's see. Anna Greek says beans and chickpeas have some cons. What's the con with chickpeas? I do like chickpeas. And says they tasted amazing, but not coming out both ends. I know too much information. Well, you know what? Sometimes we need a stern warning on to make sure that we don't do that. William says, awesome, Jace. Any good progress? Jace is only hopping in and then back out. In bed as pooped. We'll talk to her again tomorrow. Nice. Jace says, William, I will message when I wake up. Have a good night's sleep, Jace. Jace is waving at Ann. We get what could be called a shit-eating grin from Ann's Crap Chat. Ann says that, no, she didn't make it up, but I love saying it. Not only that, look how honest she is. In the, I mentioned before, in the yogic tradition, you have the yamas and niyamas. They are the ethical foundations of yoga, and it's what yoga is all about. If you're not practicing those, you're just stretching. One of the 5 yamas, the ethical restraints, is truthfulness, and I take all of those yamas very, very seriously. I practice them religiously, and yet I would have been tempted to say, yeah, I made that up. Don't be a bum, hit the thumb. Yeah, it just came to me. I felt inspired. It's moments like these when I realize how far I still have to go. Anna Greek says, and they are also harder to digest. I can see that. Jace says, blessings to you all. Blessings to you, Jace. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you letting us know about T. For those who don't know, our friend Bumblebee T lives in England. She's not my age, but she's, I think, 50, a little bit younger. She's in the hospital and has been for quite some time. And she doesn't have an advocate. Anyone in the hospital should have an advocate. So her and Jason are working something out. He might know someone, or maybe he's going to step up himself. Don't know yet. And says, Yogi, I will be honest with you. My channel is not just about being goofy and silly. I do have a drama channel. I won't go into who or what I do because this is not the channel for it. So if you don't want me in here, I totally understand. Um, I'll be totally honest with you, and I I generally, if people come and visit, I generally visit their channel because I want to uh, support them. So I've seen your channel, and I absolutely don't care. Your channel is your channel, and you do what you do for reasons that you have. Don't need to know. Um, all I know is you came here and you became a friend. That's enough for me. So I totally want you here. Everyone is welcome here. I'm doing my best to make that clear to everyone that, and I've actually made some videos on it. I refuse to have enemies. I've had enemies in the past. I have people now who would love to me to have enemies in real life, or not real life. Everything's real life, but offline life. Um, I can turn on the news, and the newscaster is whatever channel I'm on will try to convince me that whatever side they're talking about is my enemy. I don't want enemies anymore. I refuse to have them. So I can welcome everyone as a friend on their terms. Let's see. Anna Greek says lentils are very easy to digest because they have bigger surface and smaller mass. You know, I never considered that, Anthony Greek. That's important information. Thank you. And it says, Wolf, can you let Barb know that Crafty Songbird passed away? I just found out. Um, if he's not here, I will mention it. Crafty Songbird. I'm writing that down. I like that name. Sorry to hear he passed away. And it says, oh, thank you, Yogi. You're welcome. You know, like I said, when you came in, had I checked out your channel and I perceived you as an enemy, there's a likelihood that I would have eaten an unknown amount of banana chips without being properly warned. And I would have had a very similar experience as you. That should tell you right there the benefit of not making enemies. I have been spared a very painful and potentially embarrassing incident. So that's why I do it. Answer Greek says, enemies help us evolve. Hopefully they help us evolve to the point where we refuse to have enemies any longer. Been there, not going back. I am infinitely happier. And not just happy on the surface. It's not a happiness where I'm happy because I have something or I'm happy because I don't have something. I am happy for the sake of happiness. No reason. And I'm not going back. No need to, don't want to, and I don't even feel like a hinge. Let's see. Anne says, I will always come into your room and be respectful to you and everyone else as long as people are respectful to me. That's the thing. That's the only time I've ever drawn a line is when there's an actual attack. And even then, you know, I'll ask, hey, can you take it to another chat that's, you know, is meant for something like that? I have no problem with that. I don't demand everyone like each other. I don't even demand that everyone respect each other. Just respect the fact that here, everyone has a place. Hey, Alaradox. Night Watcher is here. What's up, Night Watcher? Answer Week says every hardship helps us evolve. They can. Hopefully they do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes we actually devolve. Devolve? That is a word, right? And says, thank you, you're welcome. Wolf says, hi, Laradox Night Watcher. Wolf says, I told her about Crafty. Thank you, Wolf. And Anne says, thank you as well. Answer Greek says, have you read the book of Lobsang Rampa? I haven't, but we've talked about him before, right? Because I meant to, I was going to order it. William says, I would like to know your main channel, Anne, but I'm curious by nature. And hello, Laradox, welcome back. How are you doing today? It's funny, every so often my channel is accused of being a high drama channel, which is weird because I don't really have drama in my life. I'm open to just about everyone in every situation, but we do have some drama here unfolding from time to time. 90% of the time, it's peaceful. We've had people come in with the intent of being trolls, and they end up being really good friend. Case in point, the legendary, the endearing Mr. Poopinator, who came in night after night saying, poop for me, bro. Nope, sorry, it was fart for me, bro. And each time he did it, I would try to have a different story of why I couldn't do that for him. And it ended up being a thing. We ended up being friends. We actually Facebook friends now, and we occasionally talk on the phone. He's a good guy. So if you close yourself off to what someone brings you, regardless of what it is, then you're closed off, and you never know what it can be. Everyone's wounded. Everyone is wounded. So who am I to say, well, I don't like your particular wound. I don't like your particular projection. I'm not saying it's always easy, of course, as it isn't. But at a certain point, again, I'm talking about that happiness that doesn't need an object to make it so. And when even just a hint of that, everything starts becoming fun. You roll with a conversation. Not what you says. I just wanted to stop by. To be honest, just accidentally woke up. It's 4 a.m. Ann says, I need to go. Help hubby. We'll see you later. Hey, Ann, thanks for coming in, having the conversation, and inspiring the conversation. It was a lot of fun. It is 4 a.m. for our friend Night Watcher in Bangladesh. I hope Night Watcher listens to how easily that rolls off my tongue these days. Bangladesh, Myanmar. Night Watcher's going back to sleep. Have a good night, Night Watcher. Anta Greek says hi to Wolf. I'm going to take my herbal sleep med. Not really a med. Barb is here. Barb says, blessings and hugs, my spiritual family. Blessings and hug to you, my friend. How are you, Barb? How are you feeling? Let's see. Barb says, Wolf phone and woke me up. Sorry to hear about Crafty. So you're still in the hospital? And Scrap just says, William, I use this channel now, but thank you for asking. I don't do drama on my other channel. Let's see. Jacob is dropping links. Barb says she may be going home tomorrow. I hope so. It's a good sign. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Timo says, how are you, Barb? Barb says, yep, I want my bed at home. Ann says, hubby is fine. He just needed something to drink. Barb says to Optimob, she's doing so much better. Very dehydrated from the radiation surgery. Thank you so much for asking. Jacob did, how many did you do, Jacob? I don't remember. Was it 107 pumps? And I hope Jacob will remember to drop his own link. Here's the type of guy that Jacob is. Unannounced, he comes in, he starts dropping other people's channels. Always has something kind to say to everyone. And never, ever puts himself first. It's an amazing guy. Seven pump. That is 7 push-ups per burpee. And says, oh, I don't see Barb. There might be some blocking, which is a good way to, defuse. Sometimes blocking is the most respectful thing that we can do to each other. It's only a matter of time before someone comes in and blocks me from my own chat. I'm tired of hearing this guy. I'm tired of hearing this guy. He's just rambling on about quarter pounders. He doesn't even eat meat. Encouraging people to eat too many banana chips to see what happens to them. And they're going to block me. They're going to see everyone else in the chat, but nothing that I have to say. Timo says, I uploaded a nice video of Max that brings a bit of happiness in everyone's heart. Optimob, would you do me a favor? Would you be so kind as to drop a link? Because, man, we all need a little bit of happiness in our heart. I'd love to see it, Optimob. Bumblebee T is here. Says, hi, Yogi. T, I heard you talk to Jace. Wolf says, hi, Bumbles, and Optimob, and Jacob. Wolf says, hey, T, and welcome. And let's see, there's the video. Oh man, what a great opener. When a video opens up with a dog getting his head rubbed, you know it's going to be good. Hey, so here's the subject. Dogs. Who's got one? And what kind? Wife says, sadness, I have not lived up to my own word. In what regard, William? In what way? T says, Yogi, yes, a good chat with Jace. William says, hey, Barb, welcome. I'm adding you to my prayer tonight for your recovery. Nice, William. Wolf says, wait, Yogi's caught up with the chat. It just goes to show a miracle can always happen. Not often. You can't expect them. They never last for too long. At least this one. Jacob saying hey to everyone. One says overpromising and not delivering. Well, you know, it's a way of holding ourselves accountable, William. But holding yourself accountable doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means you do better next time. And there's always a next time, and it can always be better. Jacob says, Brother Night Watcher. Says hey to Anne's Crap Chat. T says, so Yogi, Mocha, if you're watching, Wolfie, Barb, William, Optimob, Sabine, and everyone else. Mocha could be watching. You never know. See? There she is. The Master Sergeant retired, Mocha. Ah, you caught me, Bumblebee. Was she watching, or is it sort of like almost like a Beetlejuice thing? You don't even need to say it 3 times. Although I think we did say it 3 times. T said it, and then I said it at least twice. One says, I appreciate it, but no thanks is necessary. I cannot do anything but that by myself right at this moment. One says, speaking of Mocha, hello and welcome. Barb says, hey Mocha sis, how you doing? Wolf says, William, at times it's a matter of intent. We all know that you intended to. Absolutely, Wolf. Wolf says, how you doing? T says, Mocha, good to see you, sister. I just had that feeling to say hello to you. I think Bumblebee T materialized Mocha out of the ethers. Mocha always exists as potentiality, and it only takes the proper words to bring her into manifestation, into manifest form. I have found that to be true in my life. Wolf says, hiya to Master Sergeant, retired, gets a salute. One airman to another. Barb says, be right back. Doctor just came in. T says, how did Burpee Reaper do today? He rocked it today. He was, I caught his video. He was strutting with their medal around his neck, feeling good. Boy says, thank you, Wolf, but it makes me unreliable when my word is all I have to go on. I appreciate you highlighting the need for accountability of myself. I need better discernment of tongue, so as I'm not continuing to offend. Well, that is one of the things that you've undertaken is doing a word fast, doing times of silence, and that helps because now you get one of the things that happens when you go into deep periods of silence. You become very aware of your thoughts and the power of thoughts. But 99% of the time, we are never aware of our thoughts because we identify with our thoughts. If you remember what I read in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the very first 3, he talks about We suffer because we identify with the vacillation of the mind. And just like that, I'm behind in the chat. I knew I should have told Wolf good things never last. T says, William, we're all just one individual and we can't do everything every day alone. Absolutely, T. Excellent point. Timo says, it's 12:05 a.m. We go to bed. Good night. Good night, Timo. I'll see you tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow is the premiere from Optimob's channel. It's a highlight of my Sunday. I hope it's a highlight of everyone's Sunday. It should be. It's a slice of Switzerland. It's a slice of beauty. It is offered with love, straight from the heart of Optimob. Optimob is Timo, Sabine, and the Wonder Dog Bax. It is usually 4 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard Time. So look for it. It really is a fun time. You can make friends and connections, or you can just kick back, say hi to everyone, and enjoy it. Timo says, Yogi, I was on the toilet, that's why I was late. Maybe people was thinking of me when I was emptying the overloaded brain. I've slept a lot today, as bad night, but in a good headspace. I'm glad you're in a good headspace. How was the sleep? Was it a restorative sleep? William says, good night, Timo, Sabine, and Bax. Enjoy a much needed rest. Wolf says, blessings, Timo and Sabine. Hug the puppy. T says, good night to Sabine and Bax. Timo says, will I sleep harder? That is more productive as sleeping faster. I think so. That's a good point. T says, to William, if we all succeeded in our first attempt, we wouldn't need to put the effort in to try. Very encouraging words to our friend William. Here's what, maybe you guys notice this about our friend William as well. He's one of the most sincere people that I know. And he is quick to forgive other people. He is not quite as quick to forgive himself. As if there's a separate source between William and other people. I was talking about this earlier in the live stream. Until you include yourself on that list of forgiveness, then there's always going to be that separation. There's always going to be seeing us against them. Hey, our good friend Buddha of Destiny, Namaste, is here. Buddha, how are you? He says, yes, everyone, Wolf can come and get me at around 9 a.m. tomorrow. I will be going home. Awesome. Excellent news, Barb. He says, William, have you changed name or a different William? William says, basically a new channel, but the same William. William says, I don't want a YouTube channel because before, so trying to be more in line with what I claimed, removed everything. Jacob is still dropping links. Thank you, Jacob. Drops a link for Buddha. Buddha is another one that just comes in and supports and supports and supports. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I've done to be blessed with friends like you guys. but it really is a blessing. T says, Yogi, I guess you say my memory was very poor yesterday. PM as Y, but what a sprained bicep. I couldn't sleep in my usual uh, fetal position. T says, Jacob, hope you're doing well, sir. Jacob says, thank you, Sister T. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? How are you feeling after those 7 pumps? T says, I just ate a banana but need protein. Do you think sardines follow bananas well? I don't think that would follow well. The oil on the sardines, maybe wait a little bit. The good thing with bananas are they are fast at digesting. So maybe wait half an hour. Yeah, William said the same thing. Maybe wait 30 minutes. I always knew William was a smart young man. Jacob says, banana with peanut butter sounds good. William says, love peanut butter. Man, it's been ages since I've had peanut butter, but I do love peanut butter. Linda says, bye, Yogi, in chat. Bye, Linda. Thanks for hanging out. Much appreciated, my friend. T says she had a sprained bicep for 4 weeks and re-sprained it. It's causing me issues to transfer. Roy says, bye, Linda, take care. T says, bye to Linda. Jacob says, blessings, Sister Linda. As says Wolf. Again, Linda, thanks for hanging out. Very much appreciated. And Jacob drops the link for Linda. So yeah, one more time. Tomorrow is the Optimob premiere. Speaking of Optimob, anyone who has an opportunity to maybe lend some watch hour times to our friend Optimob, because he's really close. He is just over 500, I believe. But they're holding 5 days. YouTube always holds 4 to 5 days. So they're probably right on that edge, which means that, man, in just the next couple of days, he can do it. They can do it, as they are a team. William says, Jacob, again, peanut butter powder without sugar, and it's much better, in my opinion. It mixes as well with the bananas. So all of the deliciousness without the added oil from traditional peanut butter, which is usually palm or veg. Yeah, if I buy peanut butter, I usually get made in the store. But it's been a long time. I'm going to have to look at the powder, because that actually might taste pretty good in oatmeal. Thank you for bringing that up, Jacob. T says, William, I've never tried peanut butter, but being autistic, I'm not sure if it's an eat type of food like eggs. I like biscotti spread, but don't know the same or claggy. It sticks to the palate. Let's see. T says, Optimob need watch hours tonight. Well, he's always in need. So anytime, anytime you guys are able to put some watch hours in, even just watching a video or two. I put up first thing in the morning. I put up a watch list or the playlist. I try to do it for right now Optimob as well as Jace, and I got Amy McFarland up, and I have who else? One more person. Oh, Christine for the koi. Sweet Acres Koi Farm, which is a channel. Actually, both Amy and Caroline, Sweet Acres Koi, I love supporting them because they're doing such interesting things that you just don't see. You don't see a ton of. Amy is relatively new to her scroll saw art, and man, watching her unfold as an artist is amazing to see. All right, where are we? William says, I know I have much mouth feelisms too. I totally understand. There is a specific word for us, but cannot remember. Not just picky eaters. What would that? I wonder what that word would be. T says, let's try to leave my other device on Optimum tonight as public Wi-Fi will permit. Nice. Thank you, T. William says they would never like to. They would like to, but they never asked us to. Or last ask was they had roughly 530 hours left. Yeah, that's why I always make it a point to ask, and that's true for anyone. Anyone needs watch hours, let me know. Wolf says we all need watch hours. I'm on it. Writing that down in my book for things to remember. So what we try to do, what I try to do, get people where they need to be, subscription wise, watch hour wise, and then we go to the next person. Not that it has to be one at a time. Help as many people as we can, but just because we go to help someone specifically doesn't mean we don't support everyone else at the same time as well. So if anyone needs a little extra support, feel free to ask. Not only feel free to ask, definitely ask. I have a list. I'd love to get Jacob to 1K. Man, I really want to get Brian Lane to 1K. He's at, I think, 927. And he's someone who needs to be a 1K plus channel because he's got a beautiful journey to share. No one's been through the fire like Brian. No one has been through the fire and has come out fireproof as Brian Lane. And Jason's getting closer and closer and closer to 1K. Optimop says, thank you all for your support. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, I didn't see up above. Optimop says, I'm thinking to stop uploading videos on YouTube. I will change the platform. Again, problem with copyright. See you on Rumble, Optimum. I'm sorry to hear that. Yep, William says, I think it's from 819 now. Yeah, it is. Jacob says, yes, Brother William, That's even better for you. I was using that for a while, but I needed to add the fat and a little more calories to refuel from huge rep sessions. Very great choice, my man. Yeah, with the reps that Jacob puts in, and not just burpee reps, but across the board, he's always got finishers. He's always got extra stuff. William says peanut butter has a wild texture, variance in temperature is an impact. T, unfortunately, will be the best guinea pig for that. You know what? Just a little bit, like the tip of a tip of a teaspoon, and see how you like it. T says, to William, I never managed to eat a whole egg my whole life, age 52. I would refuse tomato, only tomato ketchup. Heinz 17. And now I love tomatoes. I am not a tomato person. I can do tomato sauce if there aren't chunks of tomatoes in it. And I can trick myself into thinking it is from something different than a tomato. Some type of red magical pre-existing sauce that came into existence. Wolf says, I would look for you there, Timo. So, hey, you're on Rumble, Wolf? I keep hearing people talk about that. I heard UK Medic talk a bit about that. Man, it's taken me forever to figure out YouTube. I don't think I could switch. T says, Optimum, I can't get on Rumble from the hospital Wi-Fi, and your videos are great. I've had such little time. It's been a major issue for me here in the ward. Sorry. Let's see. William says, Jacob, you can use natural peanut butter for the original oil from the nut, which I do, all my different types of nut butter. Or what Yogi does is called oil pulling. But general coconut oil is all right. Tia says, I forgot so much. I can't comment on public Wi-Fi and then forget if I had mobile Wi-Fi. Yeah, I don't really know what Rumble is other than, like I said, the first time I ever heard about it was from UK Medic. Jacob says that's a good idea too, Brother William. Roy says for eggs, it was supposed to smell and if it was fried instead of scrambled. I have not had eggs in almost a month. Going to potentially try again soon. Still questioning it. What about looking for locally sourced eggs, William, that you know are the chickens are cared for. Sorry. Eggs are definitely a good source of protein, and I think most especially scrambled, they're very, very easy on the stomach. Scrambled eggs used to be one of my comfort foods, and at one time I would have rivaled William Downey in the egg eating department. Oh, and William says those would be quite good. Can you also try any kind of beans? Vada Loco's Blood In, Blood Out says Namaste. That would be our friend Buddha. Bumblebee says Yogi, I didn't like Nutella as not into hazelnuts. Don't mind almonds or cashews. think almonds might be my all-time favorite nut. I do like walnuts too. Walnuts and oatmeal, perfect. I've never had Nutella. Am I missing anything? Buddha says, blessings everyone. Blessings to you, my friend. Buddha says, hey to Jacob. Buddha says, tomatoes are another wild variance in flavor, like grapes too. It's weird. I don't mind the texture of grapes, but I don't like the texture of tomatoes. And I always say it's weird because I want people to fully appreciate the fact I know how weird it is. If anyone here were to walk away from a conversation and think to themselves, I wonder if Yogi knows how weird he is, rest assured, my friends, I am well aware. Baked beans in a tin, well, that would be an option. Maybe not the best. Wolf says, even my poor little channel needs watch hours, but I don't put out a lot. But I do a little bit on Rumble. So I'm going to look in on Rumble, not so much for myself, but to support you guys. Man, Wolf, I'd love to see you do some more stuff with your dogs. Even just a walk. See a slice of Louisiana that I don't get to see. Wolf says, I will add you to my wolf list. I was not aware you released. Please forgive my presumption. Wolf said, that's how I usually try to get them. It's because a weird nasal mouth texture thing for me after ethically met. T says, Wolfie, I don't know you were on Rumble. Are you on Facebook too? As I mentioned before, guys, if anyone is on Facebook and they want to connect, just look me up, Eric McCarty. I am the bald guy standing next to a waterfall. Can't be too many of us. Let's see. William says, you should hopefully be able to find natural almonds or cashew butter without added oils and either smooth or crunchy. There is no grade on how coarsely the nuts get pulverized, so the sauce varies. T says, Yogi, I explained the no sleep last night. Had a chilled day, as no doctors or physio, just ward stuff. I'm glad you had a chill day. And William says sardines should be all right now. T had about 30 minutes. Yeah, like we said, bananas digest really fast. T says William should show as a friend of Yogi. I will look, but please remind me. Jacob says, thank you so much for having me on your live stream. Once again, brother Mr. Yogi, truly appreciate it. Much love and respect. Big salute. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for all you do. Not just here, in every channel you go to, as well as the inspiration and motivation that you put out on your channel. Again, Jacob is an amazing young man. I keep saying young man. I know Jacob's in his 20s, maybe even 30. I don't actually know. It's hard to tell. Like we have Runner Boy, you would think he'd be, teenager, but he's 20, 23 years old. Jacob says, blessings to you all. T has just confirmed William on Facebook. Nice. Let's see. Buddha says he is an amazing young man that gives wisdom and hope to the world still. Absolutely, Buddha. I agree 100%. T says, Jacob, take care, brother. And that's important. What Buddha said, hope to the world, we certainly need it. And we definitely need it from the young leaders. Jacob definitely stepped up to be a leader. Look what he does for everyone's channel. He just steps up. Let's see. Leo says, much love, Yogi. Hit me with some wisdom, brother. Dealer's choice. 1 second. William says, I'm 29, and thank you, T. And I honestly thought T was similar age to Flower and the rest of the collective. 52 years old. So, wisdom for Leo said so. Wisdom for Leo, the yogi, said so. I don't know if Leo said so needs any more wisdom. You watch him train, you watch him step up day after day after day. One of the things I absolutely love about Leo is when he comes on camera and says, guys, I don't want to do this. Not feeling it today. Doesn't matter why, I just don't want to do it. And then he proceeds to knock it out of the park like it's absolutely nothing. Because that's what he does. A lot of times we think willpower and willpower and willpower. That's how you get something done. You got to be driven. You got to have motivation. You got to do this. You got to do that. More importantly, you got to fall in love with what you're doing. Sometimes when you fall in love with it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to do it, but you're drawn to it. You know you're going to do it because you know once you get started, you're just going to keep going. And no one loves the rep more than Leo said so. You can see it's a passion for him. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm offering words of wisdom to Leo said so, but I'll tell you what, I get a lot of inspiration from Leo said so. Spend some time on his channel, and I always walk away better than when I came in. So I think that's about as much as I can offer you, my friend. Leo Sitsu is another exceptional person, not just as a burpee practitioner, father and a husband, and a friend. A friend of me, a friend of the channel, but man, I love watching him and Oscar. Speaking of amazing young people, Oscar. There is no one more joyful watching doing burpees than Oscar. Man, he makes me smile every time I watch him. William says he does not allow excuses to stop him. A man of his word, dedicated persona. Absolutely. Wolf says hi to Leo and Locos. Leo says, much love, Yogi. Your support means a lot, brother. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. And thank you. Thank you for what you do. Leo is a supporter. Supports Oscar. Supports our great friend, the Burpee Reaper, which is much appreciated because, as I mentioned before, when I first started doing live streams, it was me, Burpee Reaper, Destiny, Osiris would come by, Paul from Oregon would come by, Hybrid Jim back when he was Barefoot Burpees. And that was about it. Milka, and we would have amazing conversations. And then when I started getting, a few more people would pop in and I would start getting trolls, no one had my back like Burpee Reaper had my back. So when I watched Leo support him as well as supporting Jacob, then, man, hats off. Big salute. Big salute to my friend Jacob for supporting the people who support. Leo says, I support everyone who takes a challenge to be better. Do burpees, guys. Absolutely. Leo says, "Ho, Bumblebee." So, just about time. Let's see. Buddha says, "Amen." Optimob is dropping a link for Rumble. Hey, sorry. My cat was being a cat, which means my cat was being annoying. All right, so I'm looking at Rumble. I don't know anything about it. I will explore it tomorrow. Thank you for putting it up, Timo. So we're going to wrap things up in just a minute. Buddha says, my knees are hurting, Leo, so I've been resting them. I got a Rumble too, but haven't used it in a long time. Let's see. And Buddha says you need 5 people to go live. And $50 is your threshold. What do you mean is your threshold? Oh, to get paid? Well, that would be good. Let's see. Minecraftian says, it's me, Zach. We got another name change from Zach. Zach, how are you? Trending Live TV is also on there. Well, if I decide to sign up, I'm going to look you all up. Man, I just don't know if I have it in me to, I put a lot in this past 6 months. Well, let's say 9 months on my YouTube channel. Working on extending my community, helping people and getting a ton of help in return. Let's see. Buddha says, yes, to get paid is 50. YouTube is 100. Yep. TikTok is 10. Every Wednesday you get paid. Wow. But you need 10K subs. Someone told me it's actually kind of easy to get 10K subs. A friend of mine said I should be doing my breathwork videos on TikTok, that people would enjoy them more. You know what? I used to get a fair amount of views, and I don't. Weird that before I even thought about getting monetized, I started thinking about getting monetized because I had some decent views. And once I got monetized, things have not gone as well. But it's a process. Keep putting the work in as well. I love what I'm doing. And I love the stuff that I'm working on. We'll see. T says, hey, Vada and Zach. Let's see. Buddha says, I've been focusing on YouTube and life. That's where I am as well, Buddha. I like Yuzu. Does it have problems? Yeah. Who doesn't? Everything about social media has some kind of problem. But again, I'm in the midst of a community, and it's a beautiful community. Let's see. Buddha says, I don't know because TikTok is weird. T says, Yogi, you could do a video and share it to YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, and Rumble. I do share on X and Facebook on occasionally. The weird thing with Facebook, I got a ton of friends and family from all different aspects of my life, and they are the first ones to go after me for anything. Anything. I will mention that I've been a vegan for 15 years, and I'll have a family member that I haven't seen in 50 years say, I remember when you were 9 years old and you didn't eat vegetables. How can you be a vegan? So I'm always less likely to post more on Facebook. I do love Facebook because I like the connections that I have with people. Oh, Liffy says yellow. Hello, my friend. T says hi to Buddha. T says, Yogi, I have two Facebook, and it's hard. Facebook definitely changed for me when things became so politicized. Family members refusing to talk to me. Of course, it's sort of been that way for a while. I mentioned before, I had a cousin unfriend me when I became a vegan. Said my grandfather would be think of me as a disgrace. Buddha says hi. All right. Plus, I just started my members channel. So I'm going to focus on that for a bit and see what can happen. T is doing the supplements right now. I am behind. But we're going to wrap things up. It's been a fun talk. I appreciate everyone for coming in and hanging out with me. We talked about hamburgers, fast food restaurants. We talked about peanut butters, tomatoes, and grapes, and the hazards of eating banana chips. And they are some serious hazards. And all kinds of stuff. T says, Yogi, I looked at membership. I tried and joined. I can't find video. It should be up on my page. We'll figure it out. Buddha says, awesome. Live. Have a great evening, Yogi. Thank you, Buddha. And thank you for helping to make it a great live. Very much appreciated. All of my friends. Wolf and Barb coming in. Thank you very much. William, as always. Bumblebee, as always. Burpee Reaper was in for a bit to let us know it was a wrap. Jacob dropping links. Leo coming by, offering some inspiration as always. Our friend Linda. Anne's Craft Chat, who inspired the burger conversation. That was a whole lot of fun to talk about. And Timo, of course. Cannot forget our good friend Timo. I'm scrolling up. And, of course, I will never forget. It's impossible for me to forget the Master Sergeant Mocha. The mainstay of my life for 20 plus years. Anti-Greek, who I always enjoy talking to. He's got a very unique perspective. Jace was here for a bit. Anti-Greek and I don't always see eye to eye on every issue. We don't disagree on a lot. He always presents a fascinating view that I really appreciate. So I think that it. And a big, big thank you to Buddha coming in, hanging out. Love to you all. Wolf Says is on Facebook. Post less there than I do here. I generally post my writing on Facebook. I wish friends happy birthday. I use the messenger to chat with people. That's about it. And I don't know. I'll share something, that I find meaningful. Buddha says, Namaste, great talk. Hearing you always look forward to. Well, thank you. I use Messenger. Hey, Buddha, if you want to connect on Facebook, look me up. I'd love to message and just talk Qigong, talk yoga, talk meditation, talk I am. Wolf says, I think I posted Facebook maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, that is definitely seldom using. Let's see. Buddha Destiny, namaste. I will look for you. You can look me up, Eric McCarty, if you would like to. Anyone can. Always happy to connect with anyone and everyone. So, with that, namaste to you, my friend Buddha, and good night to everyone. See you tomorrow. I will be here at 5 in the morning. We're going to continue with Course in Miracles. Unless anyone has another suggestion. But I'm getting a whole lot out of sharing what's been a mainstay of my life for so long. So, Buddha says, good night. Good night, sir. Good night to you, my friend. Take care, everyone. I will see you tomorrow.